بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا ومولانا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين أما بعد. I feel very nice to see you again, although for many weeks I haven't made any video, but ultimately today I can make another video to discuss a very important issue, not only in Islam but also in our everyday life. I want to talk about the concept of knowledge in Islam. Very brief. I think we all agree that knowledge is very important in Islam and in our everyday life. Man cannot live without having a form of knowledge or science. It is very interesting that one of the greatest ulama in Islam, by the name of Ibn Hazm al-Zahiri, he says that ignorance is the sole source of one having difficult life. Ignorance is a source of difficulty in life. In other words, having knowledge is a source of happiness. Having knowledge is the only source of happiness for human being. I absolutely agree with this opinion, and I think all of us will agree that if we don't have knowledge in our life, we will find life very difficult. Poverty is caused by ignorance. Poverty is caused by ignorance. So, if one is ignorant in his life, he or she will potentially be poor economically, psychologically, and perhaps socially. So, having knowledge, whatever knowledge you want to pursue, is very important, and Islam pushes us very hard to seek knowledge, even as far as China. And pursuing knowledge is also obligatory. Talabul ilmi faridatun ala kulli muslimin wa muslima. That's what the Prophet ﷺ said. Seeking knowledge is obligatory for Muslim men and Muslim women. Actually, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created Adam as his vicegerent on earth, the first thing that Allah did to Adam was to teach him knowledge. وَعَلَّمَ آدَمَ الْأَسْمَاءَ كُلَّهَا. And Allah taught Adam all names. And by virtue of this knowledge, Adam was superior over the angels. And therefore, Allah commanded the angel to bow before Adam. So it is knowledge that distinguishes man from other than man. It is knowledge that make human. In other words, without knowledge, human cannot be said as human. So it is important, therefore, to make sure that as Muslims and as human beings, we pursue knowledge and we deepen our expertise in particular form of science. Our world cannot be built without knowledge. We can only run our society, we can only run our country, our family even, without knowledge. If you don't have knowledge, your family life will be certainly very difficult. There is, however, other side of knowledge, or rather there is another side of our life, of our daily life, or rather of our religion, and that is morality. By that, I am trying to say that in our life we need two things. One is knowledge and the other one is morality. If you have knowledge without being morally good, you will stand better chance, you will stand a better chance of misusing your knowledge. But if you have morality without science, you will stand a better chance of being misguided even by your own morality. So living morally without knowledge is not good, dangerous, or rather misleading, and living with knowledge without morality is very dangerous. And therefore we need to have these two things, knowledge and morality. And one of the moral aspects, or rather of moral virtue, that we, the modern man, have to have is the so-called responsibility. Responsibility being one dimension of moral virtue. I'm trying to say that being modern man, we need to have science or knowledge, and also to have responsibility as a representation of our moral virtue. And we need to make this point stronger, because in modern life, in modern time, we, humanity, are being challenged by so many so-called social disturbance or social disorder caused by so many things, mainly by the lack of moral virtue on the part of many of modern men. Modern men do suffer. Modern men do suffer, not because they are ignorant, they are indeed very knowledgeable. And in modern time, science and knowledge has improved so rapidly, very fast. Knowledge and science have improved very fast, and we have so many forms of knowledge and science in modern time. We have sociology, anthropology, you have social anthropology, you have anthropological sociology, you have psychology, you have phenomenology. In philosophy, there are so many branches of sciences. And human beings in modern time have excelled in mastering these modern sciences. But the question is, are modern men happy? That is a very fundamental question that we need to ask ourselves and ask our surrounding. Are we really happy with our achievement in mastering these sciences? Many people are indeed happy with the mastering of sciences, but many others are not. And if we see on daily basis, in fact, we are heading toward a destruction due to our advancement of modern sciences. We can look at our nature, for instance. We exploit our natural resources so excessively. We use our sciences to explore our nature, to explore our sea, the depth of our sea, to explore our skies, to burn down our forest, to dig up our earth in seeking of mines and everything. And these are possible due to our mastering of sciences. But we must be aware that in the future, if we continue exploring our nature the way we have done thus far, we can certainly bring a misfortune and natural disaster to our grandchildren. So indeed we are heading toward a natural disaster, and we have seen climate change every day. We feel it. The weather has changed so drastically compared to, say, 10 years ago, 20 years ago. 20 years ago, weather was very good in Indonesia, for instance. 20 years ago, we still find water very easy, but today we struggle very hard to find drinking water. So our modern science have brought for us a disaster, or rather disasters, on various frontiers. So we have to be careful. So we can come back to our earlier question: are we really happy with our science? The thing is that we can be happy indeed with the sciences that we have mastered on the ground, or rather as long as we behave responsibly as far as the sciences are concerned. We cannot misuse. That is the key word. We must not misuse the sciences that we have mastered. Science is good by its very nature, and science is meaningful, beneficial by its very nature for human being. And our religion supports us, urged us to pursue and to seek knowledge, to seek science. Why? Because science, knowledge is a light. Al-ilmu nurun. Science is light, and light can guide us, can bring us out of darkness. So science is very good, and we need to have science as Muslims and as human beings. But we have to be careful not to misuse science, because once we misuse science, the result can be lethal, can be very dangerous, but also for the life of our children and our grandchildren. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.